President Trump says he wants a trade deal with the UK, United Kingdom. Roll tape.
I'd like to see that whole situation with Brexit work out. I'd like to see, we're talking to them about trade, and we can do a very big trade deal with the UK.
Joining us now, Curtis Ellis, a former Trump campaign trade and jobs advisor. Curtis, your thoughts on this. I thought it was interesting because you made the comments before the most recent Brexit vote. I don't know if President Trump was trying to influence it or not, but, anyone out there who wants to see the March 29th deadline adhered to, move on, do these kind of trade deals, this is what it was all about, right? Yeah, that's right. Contrast what President Trump said with what President Obama said before the Brexit referendum. Right. He said, well, if Britain does this, they're going to have to get in the back of the queue if they want a trade deal with the United States. It was a direct threat to, hey, don't vote for this, which many people in the UK actually believe is a modern-day independence vote to get away from the EU. That's right, exactly. Look, a trade deal with Great Britain makes a lot of sense. They're the largest foreign direct investor in the U.S. We're the largest investor in Great Britain. We are the #1 country export market for Great Britain. They're #4 for us, right behind Canada, Mexico, and China. So it makes a lot of sense for us to have a bilateral deal with Great Britain. And bilateral deals is what President Trump likes, right, what Bob Lighthizer likes, Ambassador Lighthizer, our trade representative. And that used to be the way it worked with America. We would trade with our friends. Somewhere along the line, we got this idea that, well, anybody we trade with will become our friend. But we've seen that hasn't really worked out with China. And they'll play by the rules, and they'll be a good actor, and they won't subsidize industries, and they won't use tariffs. And yeah, I think I remember that story. You know what's interesting also, because I look at Mexico, they've got like 40 or 50 independent bilateral trade deals, which makes them so much more formidable than we are. It's easy to see that these things work, and it won't be mutually exclusive. The UK can do things with the rest of the world, including the EU. Right. Yeah, exactly right. It's the bilateral model is a good model, and it's one that has served us well throughout history. And speaking of Mexico, I was speaking with Bob Lighthizer the other day. I was with him, and he was saying how important it is for us to get this USMCA, the Mexico-U.S.-Canada deal, nailed down, because that is going to be key for people believing that we can take on China. Sure. Can you handicap that? I mean, because could it become part of this sort of never Trump politicalization that we've seen in everything else, even though Democrats should love this deal? That's right. They should love it. Unions love it. Unions have already come out and say thank you. Folks in the Midwest have said thank you. You're bringing jobs back. But will the Democrats dare to go against this just despite President Trump? That's the danger among the progressives, even though the most progressive opponents of all the free trade deals acknowledge that this is a better deal than we had with NAFTA, and it goes in the right direction. Well, the same folks acknowledge that we need border security, just not a wall. Right. The question then becomes, do the Democrats want to die on the hill of, we're going to reject this better deal for American workers because it doesn't do enough for the Mexicans, the Mexican labor standards? That's what they're saying. Oh, we need better enforcement for Mexican labor standards. Oh, so you're going to reject a deal that's good for American workers because it doesn't do enough for the Mexicans? It certainly would be thin political ice for them. I do want to ask overall, because we get the different messages going back and forth with respect to this China trade deal. I don't have a problem with the meetings being pushed out or any of that, because to me it means the administration is probably working for the right deal, not to expedite something for a headline. That's right. And as I'm not revealing any confidences here. Ambassador Lighthizer recounted a conversation he had with President Trump during the last time the Chinese were over here. And he said he gets a call from the president, and the president says, look, if it's not a really good deal, don't do it. Don't do it. And that's what we need. We're talking about not quarterly earnings. We're talking about the next 60, 70, 80 years. Curtis, thanks a lot. Always appreciate it.